Hello there everyone, this is Iron Mark III and welcome back to Workers and Resources, Soviet Republic. Da comrade, we are back in this game once again. And as I mentioned last time, we are going to be trying to focus on coal this time around. However, you joined me with the lumber train, just on its way back from its first visit to the border depot, and it fetched about 9,000 rubles. Which is still a solid chunk of change. It's not much compared to the price of this thing. I mean, it spent like 20, 30, 40, 50, 60, well, that's 8 times 15. I think somewhere in the total of like 200 odd thousand on this, so yeah, this will take maybe 20 trips before it's in the black as far as that's concerned, but the rest of my trains don't care in the slightest. I mean, look at this. 650 odd thousand and climbing. I do have to be careful though, must admit. Why do I have to be careful? Because with the addition of the lumber train, this has 4 trains now active on this circuit. And that is technically over capacity, if I'm being fair to it. Luckily it's a long circuit, so it's not actually an issue just yet. But if you're using a passing point train system, then the actual limit is 3 in total, because if you have a 4th one, then they can get stuck at a given passing point. So one of the shorter ones, like one train in that side, one train in that side, one train at that side, and with those 3, one of the trains can move. But if the 4th train gets over here, then it's locked up and they can't move. So yeah, right now this track is not quite big enough for the number of trains on it, and the number of trains is hopefully only going to increase. Hopefully this time around I am actually going to add a 5th train in the form of a coal train, but at the very least I will be adding in a actual I'll be adding in a train hauling coal ore to the processing plants down here. Now let's go back to staring at the pollution map. It's kind of tricky to tell how much pollution a building's going to produce until you actually get it up and running. So there's a little bit of pollution around here. So I think actually putting a coal processing on this side will be good. But remember, we've got to move the conveyors around and all that jazz as well. So maybe reroute the high tension lines along here. So it's just that it plugs into this side of the building instead. That'll probably be a good idea, if I'm honest. Yeah, that sounds like an excellent idea, actually. Let's do that. Now then. Something else I'd note tonight, which is a thought I had actually while watching. I think what's going on with these buildings is the same as with roads, like it's a node system. So I think the vehicles are coming to here and queuing up because that's a node. And then this entire section is a single block as far as the node is concerned, so only one vehicle can move inside the building itself. I really doubt the developers ever going to see this, because I am not that important, and I have long since shed any delusions of grandeur. But having multiple vehicle nodes inside a building would help a lot in terms of them being bottlenecks for vehicle flow, because this hospital is actually pretty busy. At any given time, it's likely that 4 or more cars are out and about. And if you look, one's waiting to go already, and there's 2 waiting to come in. So, like, just note so that vehicles can pass each other into this area, and they only, like, block each other when they're moving to try and park or coming out of parking. Like, there's space there, so I want to have a vehicle, like, come along this side, then up here, and then wait here, so they can get into the parking area. And the vehicles going out just go down this way like this. That would free things up a lot. Same story with the oil refinery, because we know that the vehicles are travelling around on the right side of the road. So vehicles can go up here, and then they can wait here if they want to go into there. Then there's another node, another node, another node. Then they wait here to get into these 2. And here is where waiting here is where they decide if they want to go to this set or this set. And if they want to go to this set, they wait. If they want to go to this set, they'll move onwards if there's one free. So yeah, just more vehicles moving around inside a building would help a lot in terms of ground vehicles, I think. Anyway, that's my rant over. Let's continue with the quote-unquote urban development. 35, yeah, this thing is definitely in the pollution zone. Next up, coal. Let's start with rerouting power lines and things. Well, it is underway. Whatever this is. It's a fiendish thingy. Yes. So, to run you through what I've done. I've torn up the power substation that was over here. Actually, I don't need those power poles anymore. I can pull those out too. Pull them out. Blip, blip, and blip. Okay, so that leaves a free socket there. I've reconnected the footpath and bought these roads here because it's vital connections to existing stuff. Then all of this is new. Yes, indeed. This road is still under construction before I redid all this, but what I've got here is I've got a new road link which cost me a pretty ruple. In fact, I need a little bit more actually, can't think of it. Connect and another 4,000, so I think that's like 80,000 ruples I've just spent on the track. I really must invest in getting some manual track construction available. But anyway, moving on. We've got the unloading platform here, which is connecting to this thing here. In fact, there's another error there, which I've just caught. Which is the fact that I need that to go to there. Give me a second, I just need to fix this up. Jesus. Look at me, I'm a professional, I know what I'm doing. Mod buildings, yes. So I'm using the mod buildings to make the conveyors easier to wrangle around the place. And I want... is it that one? Yes, it's that one. So I'll build that there. No, wait, no, that's the wrong way around. I want the other one. That one. Yes. And this makes conveyors easier, just because it gets them up off the ground and lets you place additional spots where they can go to and fro. So, yeah, stuff like that. Then I just want you to build that straight up there. Then this one can go straight down into there. And as you can see, it's all over the roads and hunky-dory builds. Yeah, all this is going by manual construction, by the way. So, roads. A small aggregate depot here, which can hold the raw coal ore that's being unloaded. Then it moves on through here to a coal ore processing plant. There is actually space to get an extra coal processing plant into here if I need to expand operations later. This then outputs into 2 towers, and then it splits into a small aggregate and a large aggregate. The small aggregate is intended for local consumption, so I'll probably be needing a aggregate unloader. Sorry, an aggregate loader for trucks out of here as well. Like one just here. And that'll let trucks draw from this as well. But this will be storing refined coal, which feeds then directly into the power plants. So we've got the power plants buffer, we've got this buffer for local use, because some other buildings do need coal. So this is a way for me to get some trucks to get that out to where it's needed. Let's just do that now, actually. I think there. That should be good. Yep, okay. Build. Road, asphalt. Road. To there. Confirmed? Yes, there we go. So there we go. So that's that. This is for local. This is a big one, which is going to be for an export train once I get this thing actually stabilised and operating properly. So that will be... maybe an export train will be here, or maybe over here, just wherever I can find space to hook it up, but that's all building up there. Now, at the other end of this track is near my forestry area. We have a new road connection going in, which is going all higgledy-piggledy across the place. Looks very safe up there above the mining section for quarrying stone and stuff. But this mine here should feed off this bus thing here, so I need an extra bus running along that route, because this place is actually doing very well supplying it, but there isn't enough people being moved along here to feed everything. So I think I need a new bus which loads here, then starts at the other end, and then starts moving backwards. And I say that because the other end is now actually up here. I've not ordered the buses that go to here to do that, because the buses that go here are already unloading everyone at this point, so they're not getting enough people through yet. But up here we have power station, power substation, we've got electric poles set to go in, a couple of splitters, we've got the mine itself, we've got the aggregate loader, and we've got a aggregate storage up here to act as a buffer. And in fact I think I found another problem, hang on. Yeah, I've not actually hooked this up, so there we go. So that's going to build there. And then this is actually on a direct route from here to this mine here. So this mine here will allow a direct link. And these guys both handle a couple of small deposits. So a few deposits along here, then a bit of deposits around here. So there's some decent prospects at this section. I'm not going to build this mine though, so I'm actually going to suspend construction on that in case someone gets bright ideas, but that road will connect straight into that one, and then that'll allow that to be built. But that'll wait on when we've got more people available, because these things are labour intensive. But yeah, that's all of the stuff. Now the thing is, this is going to cost a fair bit to build. Luckily it's going to be spread out a bit so we probably won't go bankrupt again. Well, we're not been bankrupt in the first place, but you get the idea. It's going to take a lot of resources to get all this stuff sorted out, so... Construction vehicles, assemble! You have many jobs to do. Yes, off you go. But yeah, this place is actually pretty busy now that these populations have been condensed, if you look at it. The buses can actually pick up a fair few workers, and then the train clears out whatever's left to go into the refinery. I mean, look at that. 200 people running there at the moment. Oh yes, this is actually running a lot better now that I've actually invited more people. Maybe I should actually consider redeveloping this area as well, on top of the existing construction work, because to be honest, most of it needs road access and stuff that's going to take a while to complete, so getting more people involved would be a good thing. Reorganising this area would be a good thing. Maybe. It's something to think about. Got to admit though, I spent far too long just like poking this bit here, that bit there, working all this out to get it going and properly lined up, so this is actually a big time sink in this game, getting construction laid out to where you want it. And now we're on the waiting game part to actually get it installed, so yeah, we'll check in a little bit and see how all this is doing. Oh well, look at all these trucks just trying to go back and forth, delivering all the stuff where it's needed. Don't know why those guys are using that road there though. Blooming pathfinding. That's another thing this game needs. Pathfinding for vehicles. There should be a pathfinding AI in the AI which checks to see if there is a route with a better quality road. And there's a route, the shortest physical I think is what it checks for, but it should also like check for a fastest route as well. That would probably help, but not when you've got these guys running around. That digger's holding everyone up. Well, until I get past us anyway. Something seems to have happened here. I think it's... Is that a... No, it's a regular. Why is that... What's going on? I didn't install signals on the... Oh! Okay, so that was... looping through the... Was that looping through the depot? Should have been. I don't really know. I think I have identified a potential problem though, which is this section here. This is to let the trains actually get fuel from over there, but it seems I've managed to clog the tracks up. I'm going to have to rethink that a little bit. For now, clear the blockage. just so that people can get through. What's going on? Oh, it's because I was paused. Bad time for those guys to need to refuel, I must admit. Which also means that I do need to rethink the tracks around here just a tad. There's a lot of traffic and it's causing a few issues. Now how am I going to get trains down from here to the fuel section? And that track was such a pain to set up as well. Maybe if I fed into this bit? There we go, that'll do it. Just a little bypass. Cost me another like almost 20,000 ruples, but ruples we've got. Ruples we're just fine for. So maybe it might be time to have a new fueling stop over there as well, but yeah, that fueling stop by itself is actually causing a few issues. Maybe move the fueling section over here, have it easily connected to by everyone? Maybe. Oh, that's what I like to see. Look at this. Deaths last month 66, which has actually been climbing. Began climbing partway through the month. But births 175. Birth rate is up. Approval for Iron Mark III. Supreme Chancellor of this Soviet Republic is definitely sky high. Yes, it shows I'm doing my job well. Or it shows that I'm not poisoning them anymore. I don't know which, honestly. For some reason teachers are down again. Hang on. 54 people doing that. No kindergarten for 20 workers. Jeez. Okay, so all the smart people are apparently having kids. And as a result they can't work because my kindergartens are overloaded. Great. It's not one problem, it's another, isn't it? Okay, let's see. What can I do? For education, I can get a new kindergarten which just needs... I can plug a kindergarten straight in there, actually. That's a really convenient spot. Yeah, that'll do it. One thing I have noticed, by the by, from doing all this manual construction, in general, paths are a bit time-consuming because they need a bunch of gravel and man-hours and stuff to do. They also like lots of connection points which can distract a lot of dump trucks around. But things like electric cables are actually incredibly quick to install because it's just like they start, all resources go to one of the endpoints and then it's like all done, the entire length if you plan it all. Conveyors are also pretty quick too, so these building-to-building connections are actually really fast if you want to install them yourself. They're also among the cheaper ones to actually install by paying for it, if I'm honest. Though that depends on how long they are. Like, the big problem is they actually tend to need like high-end parts, and that's the main cost in them. Like I think this one here, if I was to build this one, it's like, yeah, look at that, 28,000 ruples almost for the sheer amount of stuff that goes into it. Maybe I should actually look at refining my own steel. Steel is one of the more expensive things after all. Yeah, look at that though. They're already getting the gravel in place. I wish I knew why the buses going here keep going along the footpath though, but that's... I wish that didn't happen. But I need that footpath connection there just to keep it going properly. I don't know. What can I say? It's early access, early development and stuff. So yeah. It's not perfect, darn it. I should stop expecting perfection, but that doesn't mean I can't give constructive criticism or suggestions. Yeah, that's what I'm doing. I'm not nitpicking, not still. No, seriously, I'm not nitpicking. Otherwise that though, everything seems to be functioning pretty smoothly. Look at that little bulldozer. He's happy in his work. Now, admittedly, this is asphalt road, so there's still a few stages left to go for construction. But this is kind of like the boondocks, the out of the way bit. So I want to make sure it's got good vehicle connection, just in case. No, that's kindergarten. I wanted the fire coverage. Oh, look at that! It's just inside it. That's lucky. I forgot to check while I was putting this area down, so I didn't want to have to move the fire station again. What a fast little dance that thing's doing. Oh! Building's on fire. Okay. We have a building on fire! Wooga! It is actually part of the oil pipeline. That is kind of bad. It's only got a dirt road connection, but we get to see what's happening. So, does this work as I expected? It has deployed the basic fire truck first. Really fast one. Is it going to deploy another one, or is it going to say that's enough? It is saying that's enough. Well, if another one is called, then it's going to be a big one, but where is it? Where is that fire? There it is. Yeah, it's not called the extra fire. I wonder if that's based on building type. Probably is, because that was really easy for it to get under control, so that it might actually tune that, and it probably teleported back. Well, that is a thing in this game. Vehicles know how to sometimes teleport, and sometimes not. That will probably disappear though later in development, as pathfinding and stuff gets worked out a bit better. Yeah, that's a bit of a bottleneck, that. It is the last chance for me to buy the RNT AGK, a vehicle I'm not using. What even is that? I think it's a covered hull type, isn't it? $1? There it is. Yeah, last chance to buy the RNT AGK. Cut 62, 50 kph. I can't say I'm particularly interested in preserving that design. I have vehicles that I use better for that, so yeah, I'll let that one go into the dustbin of history. Maybe. More importantly, I don't have a patent office, and I don't want to divert funds unless I have to. But I admit though, the rate of construction actually means that my new type of... Interesting. The rate of construction though is such that I'm actually still earning money even while I'm buying in all the components, because my vehicles are not able to get to the construction sites just yet. I think this one is... Yeah, it's just waiting on some asphalt. No bottlenecks. No, it's all good. It's all still going just fine. Excellent. Yes, the bulldozer is dancing on a different road now. Keep at it, little bulldozer. Okay, I just found something interesting. First off, apparently my total oil output has actually been consumed by the oil refinery at only like 100 or so workers. Interesting, in and of itself. The second thing is apparently there's a switch in the pumping stations that you can use, which I think I've turned off the side output, but I honestly don't quite understand what's going on. Wait, was that actually drawing from this? Might have been. In which case it's going against the flow, because I told it to go straight on and not to the side. Also, just realised that that having a loading train there didn't seem to count for anything. And yeah, that's kind of weird actually. I mean, if you look at this, it's in, then left, sorry, in, then straight on and right. But if we look at the building itself, I've got straight on and left plugged in, not straight on and right. So this seems to be not working as intended at the moment. Especially since when I actually severed the sideline, the train continues to pull oil. Strange. Yeah, like 100 odd people are still keeping up pretty well with the amount of oil I'm putting out, so it actually seems like I might be over-tapping my oil field now. Which is probably why I'm doing so well financially, because I'm producing a lot of bitumen and fuel. Yeah, the bitumen train's already is wandered off. In fact, speaking of, here it comes. Hello, bitumen train. I think my oil industry is doing wonderfully. Everything else, though, still under construction. At least the roads are more or less done. So, yeah. And another roadblock. I really wish you could tell these things to wait until a transport truck is available. That would be such a huge help. I honestly feel like this train has actually outlived its usefulness. I say this because, honestly, the fuel refinery is down because it's out of oil. And it's out of oil because all the oil being pumped is, let's say, just right only. And this thing is still loading, even though that's off the off side, so let's say straight on only. It's still sucking at the oil as it goes, so they're still non-getting to the oil refinery. So this just doesn't function as a shut-off valve at all. I have determined that the train does not pull from the oil tank of the refinery, but the oil refinery is also keeping up now with total production, so I'm going to tell this train to actually go, and then once it's unloaded, I think I'm going to tell it to go to the depot. Because it's not needed anymore. Definitely it's made a few nice chunks of change, definitely. It's earned its keep. I'm not planning to sell it because I might need it for other things, especially like a big oil train. It's probably going to be used to haul oil into the refinery if I expand into the oil fields that are over here, which I think is probably going to be one of my next projects, if I'm honest. But right now it's not needed exporting excess oil, because when this refinery gets operating at like a couple of hundred people, there is no excess oil. It's actually refining faster than it can, faster than this existing oil field pumps into it, and it's more profitable flat out just to keep the two other export trains running than it is to run the big oil train. So, yeah. Sad to say it, but that oil train is being retired. It has served its purpose, and for the time being, it is going into storage. I really do need to relocate this, though. This thing is just like, yeah, I think maybe off the side here or something, then fill it up with the trucks or stuff like that. I don't know. Things to think about, but I don't want to waste all the oil that's in there as well. And this keeps happening as well, by the way, just like vehicles randomly getting stuck in there. I think it's because this is a one-way thing going in and out, so that is actually something I need to fix. Yeah, let's do this. There we go, so at least there's actually a route out of there. And that'll let that truck actually get out of it. I'm not sure where it's trying to go. It's trying to go to huge construction. But for some reason, rather than going that way, it went that way and got stuck. So, it's not quite working perfectly, but there it is. I mean, look, most of the vehicles have the good sense to actually go out through the fuel thing, but I think it might be if it's just trying to go over there. That and no, it's not full of fuel. It's actually getting close to low, so I don't know what that thing was doing. honestly. This game. The big bottleneck though is that flat out construction time. And construction time is actually partially limited by a number of people. So yeah, I think extra housing probably a good idea. And honestly, university is probably a good idea as well. I can afford it because it's not a big splash out like it would be if I purchased it directly. So I'm actually thinking of like maybe over here, near this station, and then students come here, get university trained, and that'll make sure I've got enough teachers and probably not doctors because I think that might need the other university type. I don't know, but a university is only 150,000. I can afford that. I just have to get rid of this road, but I can afford it. Or maybe I can replace this housing section here with it. Because these two do need redeveloping, and a lot of construction equipment is coming free and then getting back into use again. So I have the capacity to build more stuff, flat out. That's not in question. Because everything else is taking its own sweet time to get built, if I'm entirely honest. But that said though, I'm afraid it's actually the end of this episode. We're out of time. So yeah, sorry about that. The coal section is definitely planned out and laid out. It's just not there yet. It's still very much under construction. But c'est la vie, such is the way of this game. This has been Iron Mark 3. Thank you all very much for watching. I hope you guys are enjoying the show. And I'll catch you all some other time. Yes, indeed. I'm not sure where those trucks are going. Are you guys working on that road, by the way? Yeah, I think they are. But yeah, see you all later. Why'd they go all the way around there to get to that? Oh, it must be because there's a building on the route, so they just automatically path around it, even though it's longer. That's silly.